Bud Shirtmakers has been here since 1910, and we are one of the few bespoke shirt makers in London where we cut the shirts here on premises. And I'm currently just drafting a pattern for a lady's shirt. To draft a pattern, it can take an hour. It's a bit more complicated, it can take a bit longer. Cutting shirts, it can take about 2 hours or so to cut a shirt. It kind of depends on whether they're stripes or if they're checks or if they're plains. Plains are obviously a lot quicker, but checks you have to do all the matching of the checks and everything. For what we call the slope, which is the neckline. So these I've inherited from Mr. Butcher, who's taught me everything I know. It just makes it slightly easier than drafting a neckline every single time you make a pattern. It's almost meditative that you kind of just start doing what you're doing and you stop thinking about it so much, but then every so often you get someone asking for something completely different and you have to really stop and think about what you're doing as you're doing it. And that's really nice as well, because it's a bit of a challenge, a bit of a kind of, it breaks the routine a bit. But the only piece of electricity I'm actually using is a light bulb and an iron. And the same goes for the girls in our workroom. One person sits down at a single needle machine and puts the entire shirt together themselves. Which means all the only electricity that's used for that is the same thing as one sewing machine and one iron goes into the whole shirt. Ready to wear is based off, it would have been drafted off an average. So they would have taken a piece of information of 100,000 people's chest sizes to neck sizes ratio and made it to fit that. And so it's not going to fit any one of those people perfectly, it's going to fit all of them in a kind of average way. Whereas when you get something made bespoke, it's made directly from your measurements, not anyone else's. And so there we have the pattern made. Here's the bud collar pattern, and this is the bank, which is a sort of semi-spread. And so you can see if you lay them on top of each other there, the bud collar comes a lot further forwards, and the bank. She is going to have the budette, which is one I devised when I started doing women's shirts, because the classic bud collar was just a bit too deep for women, it looked a bit funny. And the thing with bespoke is, say she liked this collar but she wanted the points a little bit further forwards or a little bit further back. Once she's seen the shirt on her, we can do that. We just bring the points over, or if they're a bit too long or a bit too short, we can shorten them. And the same if the collar's too deep, too wide. Pretty much anything can be done to it. Which is the good thing about doing a sample as well, is that it gives them the opportunity to put on the shirt and wear it a few times and just make absolutely sure that they're happy with it, rather than just sort of ordering one shirt, having it made, it coming, and then being like, oh, it's not great. With bespoke, when you do the sample, you can go, oh, it's not great, but you tell me what's not great and I'll change it. And so this is what most people go for, unless they want something a bit special, and then they tend to go for this one here, which is the Soyella, which we describe as the Rolls Royce of shirtings, because it's 170 threads per square inch, which makes it very silky and smooth, but it's still got a bit of a body to it. And that's what this lady's going to have for her sample shirt. She's going to have this one here, in a nice cornflowery blue. I've just cut off a length for her bodies, and now I'm just going to cut off a little square bit of that for the fronts. And so I've got the centre front, but in order to get the hem on the front I need a bit of cloth left over. So I tend to leave, you only really need to leave about 3 inches, but I leave 3.5.